Ladies and gentlemen, Boswell Media Sports presents Friday Night Football.
Boswell Media Sports presents Leake Academy Rebel Football. Now, here is the voice of the Rebels, Philip Palmertree.
It's Week 10. That's right, Week 10 of Leake Academy football on Friday, October 20th. Last Friday night, the Rebels upended number 10 Lamar 28-14 at Thagard Field on senior night. The talented Raider defense shut down Leake's aerial attack in the first half. We were 7-7 at the midway point, but Leake responded by adjusting to a run-heavy approach, and that yielded more than 200 yards of rushing on 35 attempts, ate up valuable time, and LA wore down Lamar and claimed an attention-grabbing win. The Rebels' record improved to 4-5 overall and 2-1 in District 2. Tonight, the Rebels have a chance to create some more late-season chaos in the MAIS 5A PowerPoint standings as they visit Simpson County Academy. After an 0-3 start, the Cougars have come together and reeled off a win streak that has put them in contention for a top 4 seeding and a first-round playoff bye. But last week, Copiah whipped Simpson 40-7 in a District 2 clash, and now Simpson needs to beat Leake to preserve a first-round playoff bye. As for the Rebels, well, we've secured a first-round berth, but Coach Brian Pickens' squad could earn a home game in the first round with a win tonight in Mendenhall against the Cougars. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the T&K Farms Wood-Mizer pregame. I'm Philip Palmertree. Billy Steen is our studio producer. Scott Engel will join us in a little bit. We thank you for listening on Cruisin' 98, the Cruisin' 98 mobile app, and streaming live at Kicks96news.com. You can watch tonight's broadcast on the Edinburgh Drugs video stream. A link is available at Kicks96news.com. Clicking that link takes you to the Boswell Media Sports YouTube channel. Tonight's broadcast is powered by Central Electric Power Association. As always, there's a whole lot in store for you before kickoff at 7 o'clock. I'll give you the Prince Oil starting lineups. Scott Engel will help us check out the key matchups in tonight's game between Leake and Simpson. But first, we're going to get to talk to the Rebels head coach, Brian Pickens. All that and more is straight ahead as the T&K Farms Wood-Mizer pregame continues from Boswell Media Sports.
Before you begin those do-it-yourself projects outside your home or business, be sure you know where your underground utilities are located. Always call before you dig. One easy phone call to 811 can protect you from injury and expense. Plus, it's the law in Mississippi. Make the call and avoid serious or fatal injury. For more electrical safety tips, contact Central Electric Power Association, serving you since 1937, an equal opportunity provider and employer.
Baptist League Rural Health Clinics have a variety of healthcare options with primary care, pediatrics, and women's health, providing care at 3 locations in Carthage, Walnut Grove, and Madden. Call 601-267-1470 today to schedule your appointment. Extended hours and Saturdays are available at our primary care clinic located in Carthage. Baptist League, making your health care our #1 priority.
You can't get much for $5 these days, unless you go to Wendy's for a $5 Biggie Bag. Get your choice of double stack, junior bacon cheeseburger, or crispy chicken sandwich, plus 4-piece nugs, junior fry, and a small soft drink, all for just $5.
You got that bag. You got that Biggie Bag. You got that bag.
That was smooth, wasn't it? That's how you're gonna feel when you get that Biggie Bag at Wendy's.
You got that bag. You got that bag.
U.S. price and participation may vary.
West Side Body Shop says, let's face it, stuff happens. And when it does, they can take care of damage as small as a chip in your windshield all the way up to full collision services. Insurance claims are always welcome too. Just be sure your first stop is West Side Body Shop in Philadelphia. They also specialize in truck accessories, including toolboxes, visors, Nerf bars, and winches. They make your ride look cool. West Side Body Shop, just off Beacon Street on Waterview Lane, right behind the Huddle House in Philadelphia.
What is the value of an independent insurance agent? We don't work for any one insurance company. Instead, we work for our clients. We sell insurance from multiple companies, and that means at South Group Cox Agency, you always have an expert on your side who can find you the best policy and rates for you and your family. Now is the time to come by and let us at South Group Cox give you a free quote. Open Monday through Friday, South Group Cox Agency, 207 West Main Street in Carthage.
Welcome to the T&K Farms Wood-Mizer pregame. 7 o'clock kickoff. We're ticking down toward it between your Leake Academy Rebels and the Simpson Cougars. And head coach Brian Pickens joins us here on the line. Coach, thanks for some time here on Friday evening.
Always great to be here on Friday evening.
All right, Coach, we've got to take one more look back at last week's 28-14 win at Thagard Field on senior night against Lamar. And it was, I know, a very satisfying win for you and the staff and the young men. A game in which we had to turn to just some good old physical football, hard-nosed running, great blocking, and just a whole lot of good conditioning. All that paid off in that big win last Friday night.
Oh, those are fun as a coach. I know if you took a poll of the fans, they would probably say that, watching us last week before, we're throwing for over 300 yards, balls are flying through the air, receivers are making big catches, running in zone. Look, that's fun. But as a coach, there's nothing any more satisfying than when your group's playing defense and your old line is blocking, those running backs are getting those hard yards. It's a sense of satisfaction because your kids are they're getting more physical than the other group, and and I guess that's why they say football is a physical sport, and as a football coach, you just appreciate that physicality. You appreciate what those kids are going through to drive that football down the field. And it was great to see us do that. And as we go further, I've been telling our kids this all week. What we did Friday night, as we go further, is going to help us because now now we can marry the two. When you talk about the passing game. We ran for 289 yards, but there was some huge catches, and Nile had 3 huge catches, and every time he caught it, he was double covered. I mean, they double covered him the other night, and the one on the sideline where he goes up, you talk about the focus he had to have, and George just put it right between 2 defenders. That reception was just something special. And it was right there in the second half. We got out, started running, and then we took a shot. And, he had that, like a 40-yard reception down there. The one in the first half where he has to go up over 2 guys and get the football. And then that one down there, that one got called back. But the one he caught about the 2-yard line over his shoulder.
Yes.
That kid's making some great plays for us. And like I said, George is putting that ball right where he needs it. So our pass game was still going, but there in the second half we just didn't need it. And as a coach, that's what you like when you don't really need the pass. Now you just mount up in there and you start running and dominating, not only moving the football, but you're controlling the clock. You're keeping them off the field. A physical style football game takes a lot out of it. Not on offense, but on defense. It takes a lot out of your defensive guys because they make these big collisions, they make these stops, they look up and it's second down and 6, and then they do the same thing to make the big collision, and now it's third down and 1, and it's rough on the defense. So as a coach, I love seeing it, and I know I'm not letting you ask questions, but I'm just kind of going back to the game. One thing that really stuck out to me after that game, it was that night, was how well our defense played. I mean, they during the game, they're playing good because you keep getting the ball back. But what they allowed us to do, that's what I've told them. On defense, you stepped up, played your best game, and probably what was one of the biggest games we've had this year, biggest win we've had this year. What they did was they allowed us to see what we needed to do. The Lamar came out, had a great game plan, dropping 8 guys. George is having to just throw through little small windows. If a ball hung just a little too long, they had 2 guys over trying to pick it off, and a couple times they did. But that defense stopping them, getting us that ball back, letting us, as I always say, defense allows offense to make some mistakes because they get you that ball back and they give you they give you that mulligan. They let you try it again. Okay, that didn't work. Let's see what we can do. And we saw about on Coach Show there in the third quarter. I mean, just for the second quarter, just for halftime, we saw that we were effectively running with what they were trying to do to us on defense, dropping to 8. And we came out in the third quarter and just sold out to it. And then once that momentum got going, they brought more people in the box, but our offensive line was still blocking, picking up all the stuff they were putting up there. Our backs, Charlie and Matthew both were just, slamming up into the hole. And like we discussed, George had some big runs for us. So the three of them are really doing a good job for us.
Up next, Coach and I are going to go into the complexities, the mysteries, the calculus of the MAIS PowerPoint system and talk a little bit about playoffs as Week 10 is about to kick off. So stay with us as Leake Academy football continues from Boswell Media Sports.
Register to win a 70-inch smart TV during the end of summer savings sale at Woodstock Furniture Value Center. Bedrooms plus free mattress $798. Living rooms just $698. Dining sets only $398. And queen mattresses $199. Kings $299. Plus, it's all backed by our low price and same-day delivery guarantee with no credit needed and no money down. Only at Woodstock Furniture Value Center in Meridian, Philadelphia, and WoodstockValueCenter.com.
It was my turn. I oversaw the ordering of our family reunion custom t-shirts. I had no idea what I wanted, but the girls at In Sports were so helpful. They showed me several ideas and colors that made my decision much easier, and the prices were very reasonable. Thank you to In Sports for filling my order quickly. You'll always be my go-to for personalized t-shirts. Check out their Facebook page to see more cool things they personalize. In Sports, Beacon Street, Philadelphia.
Neshoba County Co-op knows that opening day of dove season is one of the most anticipated and popular hunting days of the year. It brings family and friends together. Dove season's one of the first hunting opportunities of fall as the long and hot Mississippi summer ends. Get on over to Neshoba County Co-op today. They've got everything you need to make the big day a huge success. Neshoba County Co-op, 338 Main Street, Philadelphia.
At Pelahatchie, Mississippi's Wood-Mizer Sawmill Equipment Dealership. T&K Farms Wood-Mizer sells the complete Wood-Mizer equipment line from small personal sawmills to the industrial equipment lineup. T&K Farms stocks parts and has experienced factory-trained service technicians with both in-shop and mobile service available. See T&K Farms Wood-Mizer to start your sawmill business today. Credit cards are accepted for all services. Like them on Facebook. T&K Farms Wood-Mizer, just off Highway 25 at 1128 Liberty Road, 034332.
Back to tonight's game. Going to see a really exciting physical football game tonight. Simpson, we've got Rebel head coach Brian Pickens with us. We know we've got one more regular season game to play tonight, but this is the time of year when people start to ask about playoffs. And just to remind people or maybe introduce it to people, with 3 districts in MAIS 5A, there's a PowerPoint system that is designed to determine playoff seeding. The top 12 teams in that system are going to make the playoffs. The top 4 of those 12 get a first round bye, and the PowerPoints bring into a mathematical system that calculate strength of opponent and margin of victory and some things like that. And as we sit here tonight, the Rebels are sitting in the number 9 position, which would mean a road playoff game against the number 8 school next week. But with a number 4 team playing us tonight, we've got a chance to move up if we can get this one, don't we, Coach?
Yeah, Philip, you didn't describe that any better than what you did just for the break when you said the calculus and the, that PowerPoint system. I hate to say it, sometimes a little over my head. I have people work on that for me so that I look smart. But no, look, I tell you what, the MAIS came out with that several years ago. Playoffs used to be, I'm going to say, easy. If you won your district, you were in. I mean, you knew that. And then if you came in number 2, you were in. If you came in number 3, you were in, and on down the line. And so you had to beat these guys to get to the playoffs. And like I said, it was a good system. It's what everybody used. But several years ago, they started this PowerPoint. And what the PowerPoint does, and I think a lot of people don't understand this, the PowerPoint rewards you for your strength of schedule. And so when you have that 6A school on your schedule, that sometimes people say, why are you playing a 6A school? Well, they give you a lot of points. If you beat that 6A school, you get you get rewarded tremendously. But even a loss to them, you still get rewarded for playing them. When you look at our schedule, you got Starkville, who just won their district. I think Starkville's going to wind up, if I'm not wrong, I think they're going to wind up the number 1 team. Well, we lost them earlier season, but we get rewarded because of the success they've had. Bio is the runner-up up there, and I think Bio's only lost to two games this year, or maybe 3. But so we get rewarded for them. You just kind of go down the line of the teams that we've played, and then we've not played a class lower than us. So all of our games are either been 5A or 6A games. And so those 5A games reward you for wins and losses, and it goes with the size of the school. So it was a good system, and what it did, it rewarded people for playing tougher competition, and then it also rewarded tougher districts. And the old way of doing it, you might have a district that might just be a weak district, and you were putting 3-4 teams in there. Well, you might have a district that was really strong, and there was tiebreakers, and it was 3-way ties, and all those teams lost by 1 point, and one of those teams may get left out, and so that could have come back into playoffs and beaten the group that beat them. So it was unique, and since we've gone to this PowerPoint system, as a coach, I have seen a change in the competition. Back 20 years ago, when you got to this time of year and teams were getting eliminated because of their district play or how many teams were going to playoffs, whatever, you saw teams not really play that hard. With this PowerPoint, everybody's playing hard because the bottom line is getting the playoffs. And as you get in the playoffs like next week, look, what we did this year is completely behind us once you get to the playoffs. Once you get to the playoffs, it's a new season, as they say. And I kind of like talking to those birds flying over there. The birds had a look to the conversation. But anyway, but now I've described what the MAS did. Now, the calculations of the math, look, I've said it on those meetings. I've been on those football committees when they start talking about that. It's some complex stuff, but it's actually a really good system. But as you said, our outcome of Friday night's game will have a bearing on where we could go. But also what JA does, whoever they play, or what happens to Bio, whoever they play, or what happens, what happens somewhere else in the state that you're not even realizing is happening. That can happen, and people can move up because Central Hines beat Columbia. Well, that can give somebody points that might move them above us. So like I said, it's kind of wild, but it's a great system, and it's a fun system. I'll be honest with you. When you get to this time of year, coaches are on the phones, asking everybody what they got until actually David Drake at MAS office tells us, okay, here's the final calculations, and then but it's a fun system trying to figure it out and go from there.
Yeah, and it creates, I think, a better set of first round matchups, especially with what you said when a team who might have finished fourth, let's say in a district like ours, and they'll get matched against a team in the first round that's probably going to be a good matchup rather than perhaps a matchup that's, frankly, probably going to be a blowout against a team, that might be seated higher because they finished higher in their district. So that helps a lot because, our district is as tough as ever. It's a tough neighborhood with Simpson, with Lamar, with Capaya. And now as we're coming on strong late in the year, we've kind of thrown things into a spin, haven't we?
Yes. And like I said, that's the thing about the PowerPoints. Somebody kind of gets us throw everything kind of wild. Now, in our PowerPoint system, one thing I do like is the district champion is rewarded. Yes. All district champions get a bye. And then the number one ranked team after the district champion, they get a bye. And then everybody else plays. And, sometimes that bye is nice to have. And sometimes you really don't want to stop. You want to keep going. You've got some momentum. You want to keep that momentum going. You want to keep everything the same. You want to be consistent on your preparation every week. So So sometimes the bye can be good, and sometimes the bye can be bad for you. And so I never mind, hey, if you get the bye, that just means you had a really good season, and you might let some people heal up, maybe get to go watch somebody. But me personally, I like just continuing to play next week and just stay consistent with what we do. And you're right, the matchups are kind of wild, keeps everybody on their toes. I know the year that we were number one, I really believe we were the number one team, and I really believe that we played the toughest three teams in the MAIS 5A that year, and all in a row. We had Hartfield, Lamar, Adams Christian. So even when you get that bye, you're still bad. So like I said, it's a good system. I would say that it's a good system. It's a fun system, and it keeps guessing and calculating, and keeps your math skills sharp.
Yeah, so everybody just turn off your calculators for a couple of hours, because we've got an important ball game coming up. And when we return from the break, Coach Pickens and I are going to talk about that matchup tonight against Simpson as Leake Academy football continues from Boswell Media Sports.
I sure do like my new hunting rifle. I bought it over at Ozark Ag. When I went in, they had such a great selection. Took me a while to make up my mind. I have it sighted in now, and I'm ready for the big bucks. Tomorrow I'm going back over to Ozark Ag and stock up on ammo. While I'm there, I just might check out those deer stands. Hey, honey, I know you're listening. Make sure you shop for me at Ozark Ag. They're on Highway 16 West in Carthage.
Moore's Pharmacy in Carthage, Sebastopol, and Walnut Grove appreciate you, their customers. We have a beautiful selection of gifts with free gift wrapping around to offer compounding and women's hormone replacement therapy. Moore's Pharmacy accepts all insurance, including Medicaid. Our 2-lane drive-through and prescription synchronization will make your visit very convenient. Come see us. We have the shortest wait time in town and a professional staff to assist you. Moore's Pharmacy, Highway 16, Carthage.
T&K Farms Wood-Mizer is Mississippi's Wood-Mizer sawmill equipment dealership. T&K Farms Wood-Mizer sells the complete Wood-Mizer equipment line, from small personal sawmills to the industrial equipment lineup. T&K Farms stocks parts and has experienced factory-trained service technicians with both in-shop and mobile service available. See T&K Farms Wood-Mizer to start your sawmill business today. Credit cards are accepted for all services. Like them on Facebook. T&K Farms Wood-Mizer, just off Highway 25 at 1128 Liberty Road, Louisville, 662-803-4332.
We were celebrating a birthday, so we took the family out to dinner at a steakhouse. You may have known it as Lee's, but now it's a new building with a new name. The same great chef and owner, Artie Reed, and Hometown Prime. My beef filet was cooked perfectly, and we can't wait to go back. Steak, seafood, the best sweet tea. Delicious. For daily specials and hours, Google Hometown Prime and like them on Facebook. Hometown Prime is ready for you. Highway 21, Sebastopol.
Welcome back. One more segment of the T&K Farms Wood-Mizer pregame with head coach Brian Pickens. And, Coach, we've got one thing based on past performance, and that is these young men better have their chin straps on tight and better be ready to administer and receive some hits, because it's going to be a physical ball game, isn't it?
Oh, when you play Simpson, everything better be buckled up tight, and you better have some extras over there. Many of the night we've had to take a helmet off somebody to put it on one of the starters because their helmet got messed up. But no, it's going to be a physical game. But we were talking earlier about the whole PowerPoint system. And that's fun to talk about. But I'm one of these that if everybody else likes to do it, you have to do what you can control. And tonight, you're exactly right. We've got a very physical, tough opponent, and Simpson Academy, opponent that familiar with us. Two schools are very similar from all the way to the athletic department. You got two very similar schools, and it's I always call it's a great friendly rivalry. Know all the coaches down there, and they do a super job. They're a good group of guys, and like I said, their kids. The one thing you'll know is their kids are going to play hard every week, and and our kids do the same. Our kids play hard, so tonight you'll see a very physical football game. You'll see a hard-hitting football game, and you'll see two teams. You'll see a bunch of kids that really take pride in their school. That's one thing that I can always say about Simpson and Leake. These are two groups of kids that take pride in what they do. They take pride in their school, and they work extremely hard to be successful. And that, like I said, that has the whole makings for a physical but yet good football game tonight.
Yeah, and we're expecting to see a lot of power eye type approach on offense, but at the same time, Rebel fans and those who are watching on the live stream are going to see a 6'4" youngster out on the edge at wide receiver, Chance Funchess for Simpson. He's the state 5A high jump champion. So we're going to have to do a good job covering him, aren't we?
Yeah, well, see, I didn't know that. You just kind of got me a little more nervous. I didn't know it was the state 5A high jump champion. Thank you, Philip. I knew he could run, he could jump, but I didn't. Now that's going to change the whole game. No, he's a very talented young man. He does a good job for him. Plays both ways. Plays on offense and defense. And like I said, very talented young man. And he's a great kid too. Throughout the years. Of coaching against these kids, sometimes you get to beat them or talk to them when you're talking to their coaches. But we talked in the coaches show. People have this idea of somebody's going to get under center and play smash mouth. So let's put 9 in the box and let's just see how many folks we can get in there. But Simpson got a very talented quarterback. And, he can put that ball where he wants to. And if you got, Funchess out there on one side, they'll throw the ball out there to Barry Kid. They've got some guys they can go down the field with and they can, stretch you. And that's what they want to do. I know, back, we ran the eye several years ago. And, I love that offense because you could just keep getting them gathered up all into that box. And then when you drop back to pass, you've got max protection and you've got one-on-ones. And that's what every offensive coordinator is looking for is max protections and one-on-ones. And that's a deadly part of it. We've had to stress to our kids, because they're sitting there looking at it. They're all, hemmed up, wanting to stop the run. And, that secondary cannot go to sleep. And, they do a good job of bootlegs. And then they've got that's what can make the eye so effective is a lot of times you'll lose a receiver in there. A back out of the backfield running a wheel route. One of your DBs was so, keyed up on what's happening interior that this guy's up the sidelines and now it's a foot race and he's got a beat on you. So, so it's this type game that, up front you have to be very physical, but in that back secondary, you have to be very disciplined. And that eye football, it's more than physical. I've talked about physical on the coach show, and I've talked about physical now, but it's also being fundamentally sound. It's being where you need to be. We talked about, you asked me on the coach show keys to success, and I said stop the big play. And to hear teams in Iowa, what do you mean big play? You give them a crease and they're gone, and that's that fundamentally sound. If linebackers don't fit the gaps right, like you said, when you're playing all that, you just got to be so because. So many things can happen, and I think and I see that today more and more. You see it in college football. Team gets under center, everybody comes mashing up in there, and then they go over the top of them. So it's hard to believe I've lived long enough where the eye becomes almost a novelty. Where it's like people are like, how do we defend this? Where if you got the eye back when I first started coaching. You were like pro style. You were cutting edge. A lot of people had 3 backs in the backfield smashing you. But
well, Coach, we know it's going to be a great ball game tonight. It's going to be physical. It's going to be 2 teams going at it with a lot hanging on the line with postseason.
It's just got the makings for a great end of the season for us. And it's something that we've talked about our youth. That we're looking forward to it as we keep going.
Coach, thanks for spending some time with us pregame. Best of luck to you and the Rebels tonight against Simpson.
Well, I appreciate it.
All right, Coach Brian Pickens joining us on the T&K Farms Wood-Mizer pregame. When we come back, Scott Engel joins me, and we'll take a closer look at tonight's matchup as Leake Academy football continues.
Before you begin those do-it-yourself projects outside your home or business, be sure you know where your underground utilities are located. Always call before you dig. One easy phone call to 811 can protect you from injury and expense. Plus, it's the law in Mississippi. Make the call and avoid serious or fatal injury. For more electrical safety tips, contact Central Electric Power Association, serving you since 1937, an equal opportunity provider and employer.
At Wendy's, you don't need a psychic to tell you your hamburger's gonna taste great.
Excuse me?
Because every square hamburger is a sign you're getting the best.
Did someone say sign?
4 corners of hot and juicy fresh beef that make deliciousness its destiny every time.
Hold on. I'm getting fresh beef.
When you want the best hamburger, square's the beef. Choose wisely.
Choose Wendy's, Dave Single. I am a psychic, after all.
Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
What is the value of an independent insurance agent? We don't work for any one insurance company. Instead, we work for our clients. We sell insurance from multiple companies, and that means at South Group Cox Agency, you always have an expert on your side who can find you the best policy and rates for you and your family. Now is the time to come by and let us at South Group Cox give you a free quote. Open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. South Group Cox Agency, 207 West Main Street in Carthage.
Carthage Veterinary Clinic coming.
And I need to bring her in for vaccination.
Oh, what's her name?
Ellie.
We're so glad you called for an appointment and look forward to meeting you and Ellie.
This is Dr. Brooke Bobo, and we at Carthage Veterinary Clinic are glad to schedule you an appointment for you and your pet. That way we can give you the time that you deserve.
Carthage Veterinary Clinic, Highway 16 West in Carthage. Find all our contact info on Facebook or Google.
Now, Bob, when we started the Bring Your Kid to Work Day, this wasn't exactly what we had in mind.
I'm sorry, but they're my babies. We're about to go grab lunch and then head to the farm.
Well, where are you headed?
Rosebud General Store out there in Rosebud on Highway 487 East. Nothing but the best for my babies. They got everything you need for your farming family.
Well, your calf sure is sweet. Does she have a name?
There's the Cow Patty.
Whoa, let me get this straight. You named your cow Patty?
No, sir. It's what you stepped in.
Ew.
Rosebud General Store, Highway 487 East.
Boswell Media Sports.
We resume the T&K Farms Wood-Mizer pregame, and we are strategically located between Mendenhall and McGee and Simpson County Academy at Lloyd S. Jones Field. Week 10 action about to start here between your Leake Academy Rebels and the Simpson County Academy Cougars. Leake and Simpson have finished their warm-up drills. Simpson's already honored their senior cheerleaders and football players. They've got that done. They've already done the prayer and the national anthem. So they're running ahead of schedule. And we're going to have football before you know it. Top of the hour kickoff. I'm Philip Palmertree. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. You can watch tonight's broadcast on the Edinburgh Drugs video stream. A link to it is available at kicks96news.com. We're trying to, as always, kind of monitor the signal that we're getting. And as far as internet signal, we may be a little choppy again tonight. We apologize for that in advance. I've got Billy Steen in the studio. I've got John Alden Crosby running the action camera to my left. And tonight's broadcast is powered by Central Electric Power Association. Let's go to the Prince Oil starting lineups, and brought to you by all those convenient locations of the junction all through East Central Mississippi. Let's start with the Rebel offense. On the offensive line, great group effort last week in the Rebels' 28-14 win against Lamar. Connor Moore at center. He'll touch the ball first. He's a sophomore, 5'10", 265. The guards on the left side, John Wyatt King, sophomore, 5'11", 255 pounds. Tanner Walsworth, the freshman at right guard, 6 tall, 227. The tackles, Hayden Jenkins, the junior, at left tackle, 6'1", 228. And glad to announce Carter Walsworth's return to the team tonight. We'll announce him as a starter, but remain to be seen whether he'll start tonight. But Coach mentioned he'll be back. He is back this week. Carter's a senior, 6'2", 308. If he can't go, it'll be Sean McDill most likely taking his spot as he has the last couple of weeks. Sean, junior, 6 foot tall, 235. H-back is freshman Major Chandler, 6'1", 218. Ben Jackson will play some at tight end and some at wide out. He's a senior, 6'3", 198. The wide receiver is Matthew Nowell, junior, at 5'10", 141. He's the leading receiver on the ball club, has 36 receptions for 728 yards and 8 touchdowns. He's averaging 20 points plus per reception. That's a tremendous average, and averaging 81 receiving yards per game. Also at wide receiver, we'll see Jack Harkins, junior, 5'11", 136. We'll see also Mathen Weaver, of course, catch 22, 6 foot tall, 145, junior. And then we'll see at running back, Charlie Brantley getting the bulk of the carries. Charlie is now moved into the leader in rushing category on the ball club. 99 carries for 377 yards and 7 touchdowns. He's improved his yard per carry average to right at 4 yards a carry, and that's outstanding work for senior Charlie Brantley. And then George Wilcox, QB1, sophomore, 6 foot tall, 225. Here are George's stats on the year passing. 117 completions out of 209 attempts for 1,772 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. So he's averaging 8.5 yards per pass attempt on the year. The Rebel offense is averaging 27 points per game plus, averaging 112 through the air. The specialist, Ben Jackson, senior, will be long snapping. Seth Martin, senior, 5'10", 264. He'll be holding on kickoff attempts, and he's punting as well. Reese Atkinson, freshman, also available, is the kicker. He's made 26 of 31 point-after attempts and made 3 out of 4 field goals during this 2023 campaign. The Rebel defense in the middle, it's Hagan Bobo, the junior, 6'1", 240 pounds. At defensive end, Grayson McDonald, a junior, 6 foot tall, 197. John Donovan, the senior, 5'11", 175, at the other end. Linebackers, Camden Marble, senior, 5'10", 152. In the middle, it's Kobe Kemp, sophomore, 5'10", 190. Tyler Winstead on the outside, junior, 5'10", 157. And Joshua Gray at cornerback, sophomore, 5'9", 140. We'll also see we'll see some rotation at that other cornerback, but probably starting will be Braden Hall, senior, 5'9", 146. Seniors, we'll see Harkins in there and Nowell as well, rotating with Braden Welch. And Braden's a sophomore, 5'8", 125. Rebels coming in at 4-5 on the season and playing their final game. We'll look at the standings in just a minute. The Rebel captains are out on the field as we brought you the Prince Oil starting lineups. We're getting ready for kickoff between Simpson and Leake. We want to take a second and remind fans that Boswell Media Sports Weekly Football Pick'em Contest kicks picks. That's something you still want to play here late in the year and make your picks each week for the slate of high school and college football games. If you get the most right, then you're the weekly winner, and you'll take home a gift certificate from Hometown Prime Steakhouse on Mississippi 21 in Sebastopol. The cumulative winner throughout the season is going to get a big prize, a Bayou Classic ceramic grill courtesy of Ozark Ag in Carthage. That's free every week. It's a whole lot of fun. It's Kicks Picks. Rebel captains are the senior class who were honored last week at Thagard Field. The Rebels are in navy helmets, white jerseys with navy numbers, and white pants. Simpson going red head to toe with white numbers. And they'll send 4 captains out to meet the Rebel captains in tonight's ball game. Other action going on tonight that we'll keep an eye on as I try to keep one eye on the coin toss. But Capaya leading MAIS 2-5A. They play at Wayne tonight. They're through with their conference schedule. They finish at 3-1 in the conference. Lamar is hosting East Rankin in this Week 10 matchup. And then other games on Madison St. Joe. Jackson Prep at MRA. Starkville Academy at Magnolia Heights. And Oak Forest at Silliman in 5A District 3. Let's see, the Rebels have won the toss and deferred, and Simpson's going to receive over to our left, which I believe is the north end zone. But Oak Forest at Silliman is one to watch because the Rebels may play one of those teams in the playoffs next week. And we'll talk about that at Wendy's halftime. In MHSAA action in our region, Warren Central at Neshoba Central 7-1 Union at 8-0 Sebastopol. Big ball game at Central. Leake Central at Newton County. Kosciuszko at Houston in a 4A matchup. Eupora at Philadelphia in a 2A tilt. 1A, Ethel's at 6-1, and they're playing at Nanawai over in Winston County. And then the annual in County, Brandon at 5-2 and playing really well, visiting Pearl. Let's look at some of the other ball games going on tonight. If you're wondering why I haven't brought in Scott Engel, it's not because I'm punishing him, but it's not delayed, is not here yet. Had some car trouble as he was leaving, but he is on his way and should be in shortly, any minute now. So we're going to carry on and just bring Scott in seamlessly as both Cougars and the Rebels have taken the field. The Rebels, of course, taking the far sideline position in tonight's ball game. As I said, we've already done the national anthem, prayer, all of that's done. There are 12 minutes up on